Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Catch the Sky podcast. Dick is back this week because we've got women's sports news.
And Russian updates.
I wanted to keep it positive. We
are. I've got so many positive Russian things to say. Mm-hmm.
So before we get started, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast. You can catch Dick on Instagram at the Dick Francisco or on Twitter at I'm Dick Francisco, and you may find me on Twitter at CTS Terry.
I've learned you can catch all kinds of Dick on Instagram. Isn't that crazy? Dang.
Yeah, I would not know.
Anyways.
Yeah, I only have according to some people, I only use the podcast Instagram to try and get pussy. So, but unfortunately, it's business only.
You heard it, everyone. Business only.
Business only.
Mm-hmm. T, why are we here today?
Like I said, women's sports news. We've got Brittney Griner. Right. Brittney Griner.
Yeah, Sorry, I was a little preoccupied and couldn't remember because I am in a state of shock and panic for our very own Brittney Griner. You know how I feel about a hashtag Free Brittney. And here we are again. We are here again with a new hashtag Free Brittney because it's spelled differently. That is Brittney. Because the Phoenix Mercury WNBA All-Star Brittney Griner is currently detained in Russia right now.
Some may know her from her 2012 run at Baylor, where they won the women's March Madness Final Four tournament. I don't know. What's the official title of the tournament?
It's just the NCAA championship.
Yes. Well, they were the champions. And then drafted by the Mercury. And then, I guess, moonlighting in Russia for some other team in the offseason.
And we'll also keep saying she's also a 2016 gold medal Olympian from Rio. She was also a 2020 Olympian for the women's national team. That was when she won her second gold medal. Very decorated. But that brings us to a great point, which is then what the fuck was Brittney Griner doing in Russia, right? And I think you were the one to ask me that, and I was like, oh, bro, because the WNBA doesn't pay. And so these stars, these all-star athletes, have to go overseas to go get paid. I'll put a little bit of context to all of this, or at least some facts and figures here.
Yeah, also.
Facts and figures.
Go for it.
What you got? Well, I was just going to say that WNBA players, so when we start talking about income for these folks, as of a union agreement that was signed in 2020, the average income for a WNBA player, less than $130,000, with a salary maxing out around $500,000, which is a stark contrast to what those top male NBA players are making in the tens of millions of dollars. And so for female players, it helps them to go play for foreign leagues. And so I think as of 2015, I know Diana Taurasi, also another amazing, probably one of the best WNBA players of all time, if not the best, who also plays for the Phoenix Mercury, was playing in Russia and was making $1.5 million per season. $1.5 million, and you can't even max out at $500K in the United States. So that's why they're
was it dollars or rubles? Because the ruble's not worth much these days.
I know, right? And that was American dollars, that 1.5 million American dollars. And so Griner signed with that same team over there in Russia. And so she's been playing with them for the last several years now to make money. Since 2014, I think, is when Brittney Griner signed over in Russia.
But apparently also smuggling vape cartridges in her spare time too. Side hustle to the side hustle.
That maybe sounds like some loaded language, right? Here in this country, we consider it medicinal.
Right. So what? She just packed it and forgot that she had it in her bag?
Maybe she was taking a chance that she shouldn't have. I'm not going to say that it wasn't a stupid mistake that was made for her to have vape cartridges with her. But when we think of it in the grand scheme of things, is it worth a 10-year prison sentence for large-scale drug trafficking? I mean, that sounds pretty unfair. But are those the rules in Russia? Sounds like it. But it doesn't make us any less concerned about the timing and the circumstances and the reality that Brittney Griner is a Black female from the LGBTQ community, and none of those things are probably very welcomed in Russia at this point in time.
Yeah.
And so under these circumstances, it's American, a little concerning.
Obviously.
Right. So think about all of those things. Probably not super well liked right now
it's like
in
a
Russia.
quadfecta.
Yeah. And so this kind of comes back to, the reason, obviously, that we 100% care about her well-being and safety, but also really just putting that highlight on how politics and sports are intertwined. You've heard Safe say it before on the show, and me as well, that, especially as soccer fans, that, sports can explain the world. Soccer can explain the world. And it's, you can't divide the two. You can try, but they really become intertwined pretty easily. And I think we have some more examples of that playing out, especially now with Russia.
The Champions League will no longer be there.
Yeah, the Champions League was supposed to be played in Russia, and that has been moved to Paris now. There will not be.
La la.
I know. Ooh, la la, indeed. It was supposed to be played in St. Petersburg this year, but it certainly will not be.
Russia's not invited to... When's the next World Cup?
The World Cup is also coming up there in Qatar, and that is
that this year?
Yeah, and I think
they're going to be banned from that too?
Well, I have not heard.
They're banned from international play, right?
Well, I just don't know if they're good enough to make it to the World Cup in the first place.
Ooh.
I haven't been paying attention.
Burn on our Russian listeners.
To the qualifiers. Not sure. That's not until November. But
did the U.S. play a qualifier up in like North Dakota or some shit? Was that a World Cup qualifier?
Shoot, was it in North Dakota? Where were they playing in North Dakota?
Was that they was that it? It was like a month ago. They played.
I mean, we've been playing qualifying matches, yeah.
Oh my God,
but
yeah.
I don't know if one was in North Dakota. I wasn't paying attention. If that's
yeah. The temperatures were it was like 0. It was like sub-zero outside, and they were playing. It was fucking ridiculous. And the only reason I know about it is because they were talking about sports radio, and they were like, talk about using a home field advantage. Like that's kind of fucked up. Like you don't play soccer like in that weather. Like. We understand that they're from a southern country, but like that's fucked up. Like even for your players, like what the fuck? So that happened. Oh, and speaking of soccer,
oh no, it was in St. Paul, wasn't it? I mean, they also played in
Minnesota.
Canada.
Yeah, Minnesota. It's outside. It's fucking...
Well, yeah, but St. Paul is not North Dakota. I was like, where in the heck are the men's team playing in
Minnesota is right up there with fucking North Dakota.
Oh, yeah, 100% it was cold, and we played Honduras, but Honduras sucks.
Okay,
so there's that.
But that's super fucked up. Like, oh, welcome to our country. We're going to go play in the coldest fucking place we can. Like, that's, like, go fuck yourself.
For sure.
Yeah, that's,
in February.
Yeah, exactly. Minnesota in February. Don't give me, it's not North Dakota. It's fucking Minnesota. It's still fucking cold. It's right up there.
Look, we had to go play Jamaica in Jamaica, so that's hard.
Fuck off. So, speaking of soccer, what I wanted to say earlier was that in reference to the pay scale, the women's team will actually be paid equally now, and they're going to get a $26 million settlement as a result of that lawsuit.
And they're good, too. They're really good.
Well, they were good when Mia Hamm was ripping her top off.
I know. We all love it. Now I'm an Alex Morgan fan. But not to get too far off of Russia, this is a good segue, though, because soccer, obviously, beyond just the Champions League, is playing a major role on the international stage as well, because in our last episode, we talked about sanctions. We talked about whether that slap on the wrist was really going to work. Jury might still be out on whether it's stopping war, because we're seeing people being killed every single day now in the Ukraine because Putin is crazy. But one of the things that those sanctions did was started putting a financial strain and freezing assets of all of those Russian oligarchs and billionaires. And one of the fallouts of that was specifically the Chelsea Football Club. And so Chelsea is one of the top teams in the Premier League, best league in the world. And I don't say that as a biased person. It's just they're the most expensive and the most prized teams that there are in the world that play this game. And Chelsea is currently third in the rankings. And their owner happens to be Russian. He happens to be a Russian billionaire, one of the richest Russians that there is, and had always been a Putin supporter. His assets were frozen. That includes the Chelsea Football Club being put at risk. And very quickly, he chose to put that team up for sale. Because if he didn't, it was going to mean the demise of one of the greatest soccer clubs. I say that only based on the standings, not because I believe it, because I happen to be a fan of the best football club in the world. But nonetheless, Chelsea is what it is. And now you're having Americans actually looking at trying to purchase the club because it can't be owned by a Russian anymore because Roman Abramovich's assets have been frozen. So sanctions are working to screw over sports that are linked to Russia, that's for sure.
Ooh, and one of those Americans, I wonder if one of those Americans is Blink-182's very own Mark Hoppus, who also currently has a stake in the team. He already currently owns part of the team.
So I don't know if Mark is playing at the level that it would take to purchase the whole team.
Mark Hoppus, they're playing stadiums, all right?
It's for sale for $2.24 billion.
Look, he's been making money off the team. Clearly, he's getting some of that. He's already got some of it.
What I'm hearing is the latest. I had heard that ownership over the LA Dodgers was interested, but the latest I'm hearing is New York Jets owner Woody Johnson is interested in purchasing the team. So that's the latest, greatest I have heard as of 4 hours ago.
So yeah, I don't know.
We are watching this closely.
Gotcha. I do not know how these ownership deals usually work out, but like if a new owner, say, purchased the team, could some of the minority owners buy a larger stake during this process? Like, how does...
Potentially, sure. I mean, I think there's always that opportunity for that to play out. Right now, I think the major reality is getting the ownership out of the hands of a Russian billionaire so that the team doesn't collapse because of it.
There was an F1 driver that was replaced as well.
Yeah. And now that's where I start to... and let's talk about that. Because
let's talk about sports.
I see these people as individuals too, right? As individual athletes. And again, this is where you can't remove politics from the sport. You know, we see this play out in the Olympics. We see it play out in these world championships. We see it in the World Cup. We see it in a lot of these national and international stages where these individual athletes have put their entire lives, their bodies, you know, everything into participating in a sport that they have gotten elite at. And yet they still are representative of everything that a country is or whoever they're representing, right? And we hold them individually then responsible for the actions of that country. That, like, I'm struggling with that because, you know, you take that Formula One driver, for instance, and you say this is all that this person has put their entire blood, sweat, and tears and life into, and they're not allowed to do that because of the country that they support or that supports them or that they represent. And how do we feel about that? I'm so mixed. Like, I want to feel like it's justified, but then I also want to feel like there's got to be a path for that not to happen. So, like,
tell
with
the
Olympics
about the gymnast.
What? Yeah, and that's where I was going to go, right? So when we think about the last Olympics, even though when Winter Olympics and then the Summer Olympics, and you started to see how Russia wasn't allowed to participate, but you had Russian athletes. And what were they calling themselves? Like the Russian Federation, blah, blah, blah. Wasn't allowed to use the Russian flag, right?
Yep.
So most recently, just this past weekend, there was the World Cup of Gymnastics. So like the International Federation of Gymnastics, all these things happen to get ready for the Olympics, essentially. All these sports happen outside of the Olympics. And there was a gymnast that was from Russia. There was also one from the Ukraine that were participating. Specifically, I believe it was in the parallel bars. And the Ukrainian won gold, I do believe.
Nice.
And I know, right? And the Russian won bronze. And when they went up to the podium to go and receive their medals, the Russian gymnast put on his uniform the letter Z. And it was white on white, but you could see it. And the Z is regarded as particularly incendiary right now because it is being considered a symbol of support of the invasion of Ukraine and as support of Putin in particular. And so immediately backlash happened for this gymnast. There's an investigation, an ethics investigation. They're trying to kick him out of whether he should even have his medal or not. And then beyond that, they had already agreed that they were going to stop allowing the Russians to participate, or at very least wear Russian flags when participating. Nonetheless, he showed solidarity for Russia, and that's really where everyone was taken aback. And I really had to question that because he's 20 years old. He's a gymnast on behalf of his country that has arguably supported him in some form or fashion to be there. What do you do?
We've all seen Rocky IV.
Right? Throwback to episode 10, T. The Russians are coming. Speaking of change, a lot has changed since episode 10, by the way.
Yeah, but the Russians are, actually, I was going to say they are still coming, but no, they're here.
They're here. They're
Jesus
totally
Christ,
here.
yeah, everything has changed.
Yes.
But yeah, so
including in episode 10, Safe, who is obviously not with us tonight, swore off gambling. Obviously, a lot has changed.
Yes, how's that going for
well,
him?
wonder why he's not here, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's in a back alley having his shins busted by his bookie.
Jesus.
I'm kidding, guys. I have no idea if that's
As long as he's ready for next week when I'm there.
Yeah, that's it.
For the record, we are recording on March 7th, 2022, and you were talking about this gymnast and basically him being, I mean, he's basically like, what are you going to go back to Russia and say that you weren't being supportive, right?
Yeah, do you think he went and like made a Z himself to put on there, or do you think he was told to put that on there?
Right.
Like, he is 20 years old. He looks like a child. He is a child.
And
like,
so
stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so conflicted on how I'm supposed to feel about that, right? Like, because here we are saying, give us Brittney Griner back, right? She was there, playing because we as a country don't pay her enough to, support her in our own league. But she's one of ours, right? And we feel that immediately. She's one of our stars. She's one of our athletes. Give her back to us. And at the same time, I'm over here feeling conflicted about this Russian gymnast and how dare you put a Z on your uniform and stand in solidarity of your country that's doing terrible things.
Yeah.
Doesn't our country do terrible things too?
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm conflicted about when it gets down to that individual level.
Right.
Of these people just put their blood, sweat, and tears into their sport to be, elite athletes. And inevitably they're political figures too and political pawns. Brittney Griner is 100% a prisoner of war at this point. Is that loaded language for me to say that?
I don't know. No, I mean, it's, I guess it depends on how the situation plays out.
Right. First there was McCain, and then there was Brittney Griner.
I guess we're not technically at war with them at the moment, so
got it. Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, noted.
But if the situation evolves, then potentially. But there's some athletes that absolutely despise Russia, like Evgeni Malkin in 2006 basically vanished off the face of the earth and then reappeared in the United States. His team was playing in Finland, and he ran away. He took off.
So what a great point, right? Because
And
it's
then-
also that notion that you don't have to stay and
Wear the Z.
yeah, you don't have to stay and wear the Z.
Couldn't he contact somebody at those games if he really wanted to and be like, look, man, you know what's going on there. Like, please don't let me go back.
Yeah, it's like, who did that? I think it was, oh man, I can't remember what country that happened. And she was taken into, like, as a refugee somewhere to not have to go back to her country.
Wasn't that recently? Like,
Yes.
yeah. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to go back, please. Thank you.
Belarus. It was the Belarus
Well, no wonder.
sprinter.
No wonder.
She refused to leave Tokyo. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Refused to get on a flight to
Well,
Tokyo.
obviously, they're in fucking bed with Russia.
See, it's all connected.
Jesus.
I can't say her name because there's like 30 letters in it that don't make sense next to each other. But her first name looks like Christina. Christina? I don't know. Either way, she was a sprinter and she refused to leave Tokyo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good on her.
Yeah.
See?
And because she said they were going to kill her if she
Right?
went back. So she was requesting asylum in Europe.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's real. And so that's what
But
Malkin
it also
did.
proves that
Thank God.
I was going to
We got
say
3
this
cups.
kid could have done this then, but I also don't know how it turned out for this gal. Stand by. We should find out if she's still alive. Then I'll decide if this 20-year-old kid should have said something. Hold on, everyone. Yes, okay, she is still alive. She made it to her 25th birthday at least.
There we go. So this kid at least could have gotten another 5 years somewhere.
Yes.
And he probably would have traveled
Yes.
around Europe, which is
Totally.
currently being invaded by Russia.
Sure, but nonetheless. Yeah, so this woman is still alive. So he could have said something, right? See something, say something.
He felt that strongly about it, one would think.
Exactly, because there have been, I was going to say plenty of, and I don't know how many, but nonetheless, there have been athletes over the course of history that have fled Russia. And so it's a thing. It's a
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to wear the Z.
That's so. I think that
All right,
answers
so I
your-
guess fine. That's how I feel. Fuck that kid.
I'm just that's yeah.
He's got a punchable face anyways. You see his face. Fucking want to punch it.
God, you're just buying into the propaganda now. We hate the Russians. Where's Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah, fucking hate the Russians.
Dolph, is he right? We established if he plays a great Russian. So that's the point.
Oh, yeah. This was the outstanding question from episode 10. Is Dolph Lundgren actually Russian, or is he just that good at playing one? I believe he's actually Swedish.
Just that good at playing one, yeah.
Considering his name. 'Cause I think his real name is Hans Lundgren. Yeah, he's Swedish, but
Yeah.
makes a real good Russian.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Well done, Hans Lundgren.
Fantastic. And I've been using his line throughout this pandemic. It's not popular, but as far as our natural selection and evolution goes, if he dies, he dies. I mean,
That's fair.
it's a very, but then see what's unpopular about that, and I'm just going to share this while I say that is as I understand, it's inhumane, very cold, emotionless, and but if you remove the human element from it, they hit on this in Interstellar, which I highly encourage everybody and their mother to watch.
And then rewatch.
Exactly. Yeah, and then rewatch it a dozen times.
Yes.
Anne Hathaway says that nature isn't evil. It's not evil. It just does what it has to do to find equilibrium. That's what we learned in science class in like 4th grade. Like it's just doing its thing, right?
Profound. Yes.
So if we're upset by it because it's our loved ones that are dying, and I don't want anybody, I don't want my loved ones to die either. So I have just as much stake in this as everybody else. I don't want to lose any of my family members or anything like that. But if it happens, it happens, and it's unfortunate. It sucks, but this is the world we live in, and this is what happens when we overpopulate our planet and live in the conditions that we do. So until we start to change that, unfortunately, we're going to have more realities like this: pandemic, climate change, war. Because Putin's going in over resources, right?
Right.
War is usually over resources. And as we continue to increase the population of the planet, we are increasing our consumption of said resources, and they're limited. So more of this is going to happen. There's going to be more fighting. We've already seen South Africa. What was it? What's the capital of South Africa? Johannesburg?
Johannesburg.
Was it Johannesburg that ran out of water?
I mean, or is it
or was it Cape Town? Do they have Cape Town?
I was gonna say I feel like it's Cape Town is the capital. We just don't know Johannesburg, but I believe Cape Town is their actual capital.
One of them ran out of water.
Oh my God, I'm learning that they have 3 capitals, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. All right, so one of them...
because Pretoria is too, because the guy that lost his legs... Either way, Pretoria is a whole nother story.
Jesus Christ. One of them ran out of water. Remember they had a crisis? They ran out of fucking water. And we got Flint that's fucking terrible here. It's going to become an issue. You guys are fucking getting 8% less water. And you have all these fucking Californians coming in. You think it's fucking going to be dandy? You think it's going to be good there?
I don't, but I'm laughing at myself that Pretoria reminds me of Pistorius, the guy without the legs that
killed murdered his wife.
The South African. Yeah, but...
His scissor legs?
No, it's just his name is Pistorius, but he's why I know Pretoria, even though I don't think
Edward Scissorlegs. Did he end up getting fucking
Oscar?
Did they find him guilty?
It wasn't Pretoria that it happened. Okay, fine. I'm glad that I put those things together appropriately.
Jesus Christ, we are way off topic here.
We are not. He's eligible for parole in 2023.
He does not need to be eligible for any parole at all.
I mean, it was an accident, T.
No.
It definitely wasn't. Yeah. I'm reading this. 100% not.
Absolutely
we are way off topic. But hey, okay, back to fighting, though. I have a precarious question that comes back to Russia, okay? So here we are talking about, these individual athletes. And arguably it must be pretty hard to be a Russian athlete right now, arguably speaking on an international stage because, shit, right? I'm watching all these Premier League soccer games, and they're going all out. They're spending, a ton of time at the beginning of games, singing Ukrainian songs or at least draped in yellow and blue. And they're doing a lot because there's a lot of Ukrainian players in the league and everyone's crying, and super great way to start a soccer match. And so that's happening to show solidarity. It must suck to be a Russian athlete these days. But the one place that I haven't literally seen even an ounce or heard even a single statement made that would even get into you would easily see throwing at somebody for being Russian right now could be a good jab at somebody from a competitive nature. And I spent this weekend watching UFC 272, the Covington Masvidal fight, and I watched all the prelims. I watched the early prelims. He did, and of course he was going to win. But one of the things that I
was talking shit. He said he had mat herpes.
Oh, yeah, but, they talked a ton of shit. Nonetheless.
He's got the
UFC,
herp from the mat.
The UFC.
We still have to do our herp episode.
We will do a herp episode, and then we'll come back to Colby Covington, I promise. But not that I know that he does or doesn't have herpes, the UFC has a ton, and mixed martial art athletes, there's a ton of Russian athletes. And no shit's being given to them. There isn't a suddenly you aren't considered a contender, you aren't good, we want you to lose because you're Russian. 100% not what I'm seeing, at least in commentary or anything, that there is an appreciation. If you're a good fighter, you're a good fighter, whether you're Russian or not.
Where's that one guy from that beat McGregor's ass? Is he from Russia? Khabib.
Which
Khabib.
Which Conor McGregor?
Khabib.
Oh, Khabib. Usman? Which one are you thinking of?
Khabib. Khabib, the dude that just beat the fuck out of him. Remember?
Yes, and he is.
He's from Russia.
He's the eagle.
Yeah.
He's the number one. He's the number one, like, best Russian fighter. Yes.
He's the number one fighter. Listen, I don't watch much.
I was like, who are you yelling? And then I realized you were yelling Khabib. My apologies. I was like, who is he yelling?
Khabib. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know much about UFC, but I know that guy beat the fuck out of that other guy.
Yes, and he is
close.
the best. He's the best Russian fighter. I will tell you. Last month there was a decent. It was just a couple weekends ago. In fact, a decent fight with his name's Islam. First name is Islam versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green got his ass handed to him, and Islam should have fought the other night. Nonetheless, a great Russian fighter again. Zero. We are watching war breaking out from Russia, and nobody's liking anything Russian. You put on UFC, and there is 100% appreciation for a great fighter, even if he's Russian. And I'm just trying to figure out why that is. Why does UFC and mixed martial arts get a pass on this whole we hate anything from Russia right now? I mean, they come out wearing Russian flags. There is no shame in this.
Have you seen Rocky IV?
I know. Tying it back to episode 10. Everyone go listen to episode 10.
Yes, please listen to episode 10. Also watch Rocky IV. And then you have your answer right there. Again, I love that you're asking questions that I can actually answer for you for a change. That's awesome, because normally we end the episode, we're just like, yep, just do it. I got no answers for you. But like... No, but literally...
Rocky IV is going to go explain all of this to me, though. I appreciate that. I really do.
Haven't you seen Rocky IV?
I need to brush up. I have, but I need to brush up.
Exactly. This is all... They're instead of it being a movie, they're playing it out in real life. They're like, yeah.
I'm just telling you my favorite part right now is realizing you're yelling Khabib at me. I'm still not over this. I was like, I need to adjust my headphones. What is he yelling? Oh, yeah, the Khabib fight. Yes.
They want the crowd to hate these Russian fighters, and they want them to root for the American. More people are gambling on these now because they're like, oh yeah, fuck these Russian dudes. See, it's all about money.
It's true. Yeah. So I would just say then, get ready to see more Russian fighters taking the stage on
right?
UFC.
Yeah, they're gonna be pumping them out.
Dana White ain't gonna not do that.
He's gonna be calling up Dolph.
Yes. Think about it. The main event on February 26th. When did war break out over there? It was before February 26th, right? Somewhere around there. No. Somewhere around there.
12 days. It's like been 12 days. So yeah, it was before that.
And your main fight was a Russian against a guy named Bobby Green.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
It's Rocky versus fucking Drago all over again. Let's just talk about the fucking height difference there. Rocky had no business. I have no idea why. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Totally unsanctioned fight. That's why it was in Russia.
On this one too. Yeah, right?
You're looking up the stats for the Drago fucking Rocky fight?
Just want to see if they mimic what I'm seeing in the
Rocky's like 5'2".
Why is Dragon Ball Z coming up? I must have said the letter Z too many times.
Yes.
Now my computer's listening.
Oh no.
Putin's on to me in one of those 9 phones.
Jesus Christ, he has 9 phones. One of them's dedicated to listening to our podcast.
Shit.
All the podcasts, like all the podcasts in America.
All podcasts.
He definitely knows English.
Is this where I give a shout out to one of his daughters, but not both of them? Because only one of them's kind of cute looking.
Did he say he would bone the cute one?
Oh, man, I don't even know. I was told they were his secret daughters, too. I was like, well, they aren't secret. I found pictures of them online, clearly.
The dark web can turn up anything.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the less good-looking one. Because, I feel like if you're going to beat Putin's daughters, you got to have something going for you. Yeah.
That's what it is. You're Putin's daughter. You talk shit, you get hit.
That's true. How tall was Rocky Balboa? I'm just very into this right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. He was 5'10". Yeah, noted.
He was not 5'10". All right, so look up how tall
Drago
Sylvester.
was 6'5".
Look up, yeah. All right, so look up how tall Sylvester Stallone is.
Okay,
Let's look up how tall are these real people.
Yeah, 5'10".
It says he's 5'10".
It says he's 5'10".
Sylvester's only 5'10". Maybe it's how tall is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
And then Drago is 6'5".
How tall is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold. You know who's short is Jean-Claude Van Damme, because Safe and I met him in person accidentally. Really? Yes. In a hotel lobby in Hong Kong. He was in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't
Arnold Schwarzenegger is 6'2".
6'2"?
Yeah, no, 100% it was not.
Wow.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is 6'2". Yes, we were in a hotel lobby in Hong Kong and 100% ran into Jean-Claude Van Damme. Right? We also ran into Drew Carey at a toy museum in Germany. So
what?
I know.
This is amazing.
Super strange. Super strange.
Super weird.
Craziest things. I know. Wild.
So, yeah.
That toy museum one is funny, but that's a story that's not Russian. So we'll save that for another episode.
Gotcha. Yes. I guess I knew Schwarzenegger was big. I could have swore Stallone was shorter, but whatever.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, just for shits and giggles. And then there's always Steven Seagal, who was into Russians, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk
Joe
about
Rogan.
him real quick.
Joe Rogan posted that fucking meme that said Seagal was in the fucking...
Yeah, that's right.
Dude,
yes,
he
Steven Seagal is the special representative for Russia-U.S. cultural links.
He loves turning the fucking burner up to fucking high.
Oh, because he can, right? And why not?
He's about to get canceled on Spotify. He's like Steven Seagal.
Because he don't care. Because everyone will go wherever he goes. I can 100% support that.
Oh, my God. All right. So what you just said, can I hit on that real quick?
Yes.
He'll go wherever he goes. So that made me think of this new, was it Truth social media or Truth whatever? The Trump.
No, tell me about it.
The Trump social network that just popped up a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm driving behind some truck the other day, and their sticker probably was obviously older, but they had like a Trump sticker, but then it also said truth is the new hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, you support Trump. You're saying truth is the new hate speech. And he just released a social media platform called Truth.
Oh, right.
So you're like literally saying you support hate speech? Is that what's going on? Like somebody could interpret it that way.
Right.
Like just the blindness. It's whatever. God.
So just for our listeners' sake, so they know what we were talking about with Steven Seagal. So this part is true, which is Steven Seagal did receive Russian citizenship in 2017. He was then barred from entering the Ukraine because of fighting between Russian rebels and Ukraine forces that had escalated in eastern Ukraine. However, the whole Joe Rogan element was that he shared a fake CNN report claiming that Steven Seagal had recently joined Russian special forces near Kiev. And he put that up there on it was late February or something that got put up. And so he was being mocked for putting a fake news report up there, which I thought was ironic since it was from CNN anyways. And he always talks about how CNN is fake news, or at least was unfair to him and how they portrayed news. Nonetheless, I am not here to say that Steven Seagal is not joined Russian forces.
Do we have a pulse on Steven Seagal? Where's he at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I'm not going to not say he hasn't. I'm not saying that he has, but who's going to tell me that he hasn't?
Because if they're drafting people and Steven Seagal's on the other side, I'm going to have to really consider my next move.
100%, right?
Who do we got that's taking on Steve?
So I feel like that should be
RDJ isn't really Iron Man, you know?
Right. No, honestly, I mean, I feel like this needs to be our question we pose to leave it. The episode would have to come back to is if we know Steven Seagal,
who is our Captain America?
Yeah, who's our Captain America? If Russia has Steven Seagal, you remember that scene in the movie? Is it Under Siege where he sticks his thumb through the guy's eye? I mean, like,
Jesus
y'all.
Christ! All right, so
Y'all.
two things. One, that's a lot easier than people think because your eyes really only have about the consistency of grapes. Most people are just too afraid to do something like that because of the
That's what I'm
repercussions.
saying. He was a crazy fuck enough to do it.
And secondly, I don't know if I've ever seen a Steven Seagal movie. I just know who he is.
My brother was a huge fan, which is why I unfortunately know. But we used to have Steven Seagal on our side here in Arizona. I will throw that out there. Because Steven Seagal had, if I recall correctly,
You have Alice
joined.
Cooper.
No, but he joined Sheriff Joe Arpaio's celebrity posse.
Oh, okay.
And so Sheriff Joe was putting together toughest sheriff in town, right? And he was the pink underwear sheriff guy, right? That was, everyone knew him for that back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started putting together this sheriff's posse. Why do I feel like I can't remember? I was gonna say inappropriate names that aren't true, but I won't pull a Joe Rogan. But definitely Steven Seagal was one of them. I'm thinking Lou Ferrigno was one. There might have been a couple others.
The Hulk? Damn it.
Yeah, I know. But, so we might still have the Hulk on our side. Steven Seagal clearly defected after Arpaio was no longer our sheriff. Because this was back in like 2010. And so Steven Seagal said, fuck, we lost our closest thing to Putin we had in Sheriff Joe, so I'm going to Russia.
Jesus.
So then he left and went to Russia on us.
Damn.
Man,
We lost Steve.
I know.
Well, we still have Hulk. And then we have the real Hulk Hogan, whose name is Terry.
I mean, is he even still alive?
Yeah, he's alive. He's old. And so is Lou Ferrigno. So I don't think either of them would make great candidates for Captain America. Who do we have?
Oh, God. I mean, okay. All right. I mean, like, you look at somebody like The Rock and you're like, no, he just looks like that, though. I don't know if he's actually that good.
No. Oh, no. The Rock's a great candidate, but isn't he like Samoan? Isn't he from somewhere else too?
Oh, yeah. Does he count?
God.
No, he was born in California.
All right. Yo, The Rock's a great candidate. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because didn't we talk about this? If the Rock was our president, do you think he'd be putting up with this shit? He would go over there and he'd drop kick Putin's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if The Rock walked into a negotiation with Putin at that long table, like, no.
That's true.
No. Oh my God. He would fucking walk in there and eyebrow the fuck, because Putin's got that eyebrow thing, you know what I'm saying? And The Rock would come in with his eyebrows and they would just be like an eyebrow war.
They would just eyebrow off.
Yeah.
And brow off.
Oh, yeah. But you know that The Rock's going to win the brow off.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because he could hold that longer, for sure.
Oh, he's been practicing for so long. So, this is, I mean, God damn it.
I mean, so that's it? That's all we got is The Rock?
Yeah. I mean, Uncle Joe's certainly not doing the job. But I will comment. I did have this thought the other day. He's gotten us out of Afghanistan and does not want to jump into a potential third world war. Like, from a historical perspective, these are wise decisions. Like, that's a good idea. What's happening in Ukraine sucks ass. It blows. But this will escalate into a third world war if NATO gets involved. So it's at a tipping point, though. It's getting ugly over there.
It is. It definitely is.
So,
and I know we talked about that in our last episode about how far we thought it would go, and it ain't good.
We definitely pledge our support with the people of Ukraine as long as it's just Ukraine. But keep an eye on the situation and I nominate The Rock unless you got somebody else.
I don't. I was thinking of Chuck Norris, but that was 30 years ago.
Chuck Norris is still great though.
He's 81 years old. Imagine that. Jason Statham, is he helping us out at all?
Whoa.
Or is he Russian too?
No. Jesus.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. He's British.
We got Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's probably pretty old now too, though.
I know, right? All of our
heroes are old.
What does that say about the future of men in this country? We've gone soft.
Okay.
We've gone soft.
It's like, do we want to nominate what's his name, the guy that actually played Captain America? It's like, I mean, meh.
I know, and we don't trust that. No.
Although
Yeah,
although speaking of that and Uncle Joe, I felt like the old version of Captain America in, what was it, Endgame or whatever. So he did some like time travel bullshit or whatever, and then they ended up seeing an older version of him.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of looks like Joe Biden. So if you Google like old Captain America, I'm sure you'll see what I'm talking about.
Ooh, what about Jason Momoa? He's 6'4".
Is he American? He's American? Oh.
Yes, technically he's from Hawaii. That's
Oh,
American.
yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. And he's a superhero.
What was he? Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman.
Yeah, so that's cool.
I like that better than John Cena because John Cena's like cozied up with China and I don't trust him.
Yeah.
He speaks Chinese and that's weird. How does John Cena speak Chinese? I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ. The same reason, the same way that Putin doesn't speak English.
Exactly. Exactly. My point. All right, so Jason Momoa is on the list. Jason Momoa and The Rock. We've got this, guys.
We are good. We can take
Don't
Steven
worry.
Seagal and Putin.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right.
And so with
On
that,
the next UFC title card.
right. And so with that, what are some episodes? What else do we got to talk about coming up?
Herpes.
We said the herp.
That's all I can remember right now. I'm not gonna lie. Herpes. There was just all I can think of is herpes.
The buzzword.
And since you are, it's also my safe word. Since you are, well, I had to change it. I had to change it from "don't stop" because that was 2 words to just herpes. Do you know how quickly things stop when you just yell herpes?
Yes, that's why I jumped back.
It's the greatest safe word ever. I'm just saying. So we'll do more on safe words and herpes coming up.
We could make this a Love Files episode. Oh,
I think it's gonna have to because you're gonna be in town. We need a Love Files
episode.
episode.
The people want a Love Files
herpes.
episode. Whenever I look it just keeps. I feel like we're gonna have to we're gonna have to rework the soundboard. We're gonna have to put a dinger, like a ding.
There will be
ding.
Yep.
So we can just count every time we
I
say
think
it.
I think I might be able to make that happen.
So every time somebody says herpes, ding.
Yeah, I think I have one, but I don't think we're going to come up with a better herpes one. Yeah, no, because that doesn't count. Herpes. Yeah, get ready for that, people.
We could do that, or it could be something like obnoxious, like a train.
Herpes. Yeah, herpes. Herpes.
Yeah, none of those are working.
We've got things to work on here, people. But nonetheless,
oh my God,
it's coming. A Love Files episode featuring herpes.
Oh wait, shit, that's next week.
Yeah, I know. Here's where I'll leave everybody as we lead into next episode. Is I am not certain herpes is the worst thing in the world. Think about that. And I'll tell you why on the next episode.
All right. I'm intrigued. We're open-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
I'd prefer, obviously, we're not going to spill the tea too much here. But
don't spill the tea.
Yeah.
On my herpes.
Jesus Christ. So, thank you for joining us. To the people of Ukraine, stand strong. To the people of Russia, for the time being, fuck off. If we can resume some world peace, then unfuck off. But for the time, fuck off.
You can keep Steven Seagal. We've got The Rock.
Yeah, we
and
got
Jason
The Rock.
Momoa.
And if you care to comment or subscribe, be sure to check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you listen to podcasts by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast, or on Twitter at CTS Terry. You may find Dick on Twitter at I'm Dick Francisco, or on Instagram at the Dick Francisco.
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
Nope. Don't make me say the H word again.
Just hit the counter thing.
Herpes.
Ding.
Ding. Herpes.
We should just get like an actual bell, and then. But see, that's
I can put the bell on there.
I'm saying we should get like that they have at a hotel desk, and we should just.
I have one in my house.
Okay, perfect.
Was I supposed to stop recording?
No.
Perfect, because I do have one of those. It was to train my dog that didn't work.
Okay, perfect. We'll put that on the table, and every time someone says it, we'll all just it'll be like a game show. We'll race to press the fucking Jesus.
Herpes.
Ding.
Bing.
It's gonna ring like 4 times because we're all gonna be slamming on it.
Yes.
God. All right. Well, let's see if we can convince Safe's bitch ass to get on that episode.
Pussy. One time only. Come on.
Calling you out of retirement again, pussy.
Right.
Pussy.
Pussy.
Where's the pussy button?
It is right. Pussy.
Until next week, keep trying to catch the sky. Go.
Rolling.